Live with Doctors Will and Grace, the marriage doctors. We're going to have a great discussion on tonight, Dr. Grace.
Yes, and we're excited to have you. Welcome, welcome as you're coming on. Love, like, and share so that everyone that's on your page or connected to you will see that we're on and they can be a part of the conversation on this evening. So we're excited to have you join with us, and we're excited about the conversation. We're excited about you participating as well.
So I pray that everyone is doing well. We weren't able to come on last week, but we're back tonight. Dr. Grace is just so busy, so much going on, and we just had a busy week last week with our growth group presentation and our growth group challenge. The previous week we were busy, and then we got a busy week next week. So it's a lot going on.
Yes, yes. And so we're excited again. We're going to continue our conversation on this evening. I'm sure that you've already seen the part one to our conversation. And so we're excited about presenting to you the talk on tonight. And we are excited about the questions that you're going to present to us as well. We had several lively conversations the last time that we did do the talk. Great conversation, great information, and extremely great follow through as well. So we're excited about what you're going to contribute to our discussion this evening.
So we want you all to go ahead and start hitting those likes and shares as Dr. Grace and I get ready for our discussion. We got some opening questions for you all to get you engaged and involved. But right now, if you know a couple or an individual that can benefit from this, go ahead and share this with them, invite them on. Hit the shares and likes. That kind of help boost up, let people know that we're live, and we want to have a great discussion on tonight. So you all go ahead and help me and Dr. Grace get this going on tonight. Baby, I'm going to try to type up some of this stuff. So if you can talk about, we got our cruise coming up. I got some free information we're going to be giving out on tonight. So I'm excited about everything that God has in store for the discussion on tonight.
Yes, and we were tremendously blessed in Tampa, and we were able to live pull the names of our winners for the cruise live. We had tremendous sessions with the couples there. It was just so phenomenal, and even at the end, even though we presented for and had a lively group for about 2 hours, the couples were still having great questions for us. They still wanted to talk with us after our session. So again, this lets you know that there's a lot that we need to learn when it comes to marriage, and it takes a lot for us to be intentional in every area. Even years after you've been married, sometimes you have to go back and brush up on some things in order for your marriage to stay alive. So we've got our cruise coming up for all the couples that are registered and you've paid your money, and you're just packing and getting all your stuff together. It's going to be fun. It's going to be one of the cruises that you're going to long remember. There'll be other couples there that you can connect with. We'll be doing different things with you in addition to
You lose the camera, baby. We
we will
lost our
be
position.
we will be able to
I don't know what we did here. Keep going.
we will be able to do some sessions, but we'll also be able to be a part of our marriage renewal on a private island. I'm excited about that, and our team right now we're planning that, so it's going to be phenomenal. So again, you can go to mymarriageuniversity.com if you want to get some information about where we're going next. Last year, we were at the Biltmore Estate up in the mountains, had a phenomenal time with all of the couples that traveled from different states to be there. We just had a fun time. I mean, it was just so bittersweet at the end when we had to say goodbye. So I know that our trip on the cruise is going to be one you will definitely want to be a part of. So those that are watching and you've signed up, I want you type something in, type some encouragement in for the couples that are kind of on the fence and thinking about it. You won't have a lot more time because again, as we approach our day that we're going to embark, it is going to just be hard for you to even be a part of it. So don't wait if you've been thinking about it. Let's do it.
A couple of things real quick. First of all, Dr. Grace and I did a couple of presentations at the church. This is some we did as part of our growth group sessions, Dr. Grace. We had an awesome couple, help me, Tidra and Jerron Cook. They did a phenomenal teaching on finance, and you
Yes.
and I did a little bit of our teaching on the Ten Commandments of conflict resolution and the importance of resolution. So those presentations are available to you. If you look, I'm going to post it again here. But you can download those presentations absolutely free. Uh, um, I got a link there that I just posted, and it's also on this streaming. The presentation that the Cooks did was absolutely phenomenal on finance, baby. They called it Holy Matrimony. Yeah, Holy Matrimony. Holy Matrimony. I thought it was phenomenal.
Yes.
You can go and watch it on, I think they may have it still on our Facebook streaming. But what I do want you all to do is to go ahead and download the presentation. So if you don't want to miss the retreat, somebody said that's Melissa. If you want to get our PowerPoint presentations, when me and Dr. Grace present, we always make our presentations absolutely free. You can take it. We hand them out, but we also give electronic versions. So if you click the link that was just posted or at the top of this live stream, you will be able to download both our 5 divine connections
Yes.
on marriage, the Cook's presentation on holy matrimony, and me and Dr. Grace's presentation on the conflict resolution, which is actually the 10 Commandments of conflict. It comes from our book, The Relationship Battle Plan, and we're going to be doing part 2 tonight. So you can go ahead and download those presentations absolutely free. This is our commitment to making sure that we're getting as much information to you guys as possible. We want every marriage to be saved. So please do that. Download those. You're going to have a great time. And I was thinking, Dr. Grace, maybe later we'll come back this year and do the presentation on marital intimacy and sex. We may do that at the church as an event. We call those marriage encounters. So we may come back and do that a little bit later. But hey, before we get started, let's see who we got on, Dr. Grace. Let's welcome some folks. I see Ebony is on.
Yes, we've got Tammy on. Welcome,
God bless
Tammy.
you, Tammy. We got Shawanda and Bert. Nathan, God bless you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Who else we got? The Cars are on. The Cars are doing a tremendous job with our local chapter of My Marriage University or Covenant Keepers, Dr. Grace.
Yes.
They really did a great job hosting those 2 sessions at our church. And we're looking forward to them being on a cruise with us. We're going to have a
Yes.
ball, y'all, going to the Bahamas and the private
Absolutely.
island. So welcome, welcome. Who else is on? Y'all go ahead and hit those shares and likes. Everybody, take 10 seconds and everybody just bombard Facebook with your shares and your likes. Just hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Let's get as many people on tonight as possible. They do not want to miss this discussion as we're getting prepared. So we had a great discussion on last week, Dr. Grace. Had a lot of fun with the couples
Yes.
talking about I've been calling it different things. The speaker listener talk. That's what this is about. The speaker listener. Last week I asked them what was the takeaway, and someone said step 1. So they call it the step 1 talk. I may adopt that and start calling it Step One. We're going to talk a little bit about that on tonight. But we want to thank you all for coming on. Everybody hit those shares and likes. We want to welcome you. Before we get started, y'all tell me where you all are coming in from. Who all do we have on? Just tell us where you're from. I know the Cars. I think y'all from Durham. I think y'all just bought a house in Durham, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all tell us where you're joining in from. Me and Dr. Grace are here in Cary. I know she wanted to be from somewhere else. She's been talking about getting a new house, but we got to get the money for the house. Praise God. Bless His holy day. But where you all coming in from? Enjoyed the cooks. Yes, that was Jerron and Tidra Cook. Where you all coming in from? We're just trying to see who's all on. Y'all post rep your city. Me and Dr. Grace got a great discussion for you all. So we just want to know where you all coming in from. We may be a little delayed. That's why I'm not seeing the feedback yet. But as you all are coming, Dr. Grace, you got anything else you want to share before we get started tonight?
Well, again, if you have questions, even after our discussion, I know that there are couples that go back and watch and they share. And so you still have an opportunity after the discussion to post. If you have questions, sometimes, when we're live, you don't always think of it then, but after you've thought about it, there's some questions that come up, or if you want to go to My Marriage University and post questions there, we can make that a part of our live discussion as well.
So all we have is Martinsville, Virginia. Where the rest of y'all from? Ain't nobody else saying anything. Where you guys coming in from? Me and Dr. Grace usually get people from all over the country, from Texas, Michigan. So where you all coming in from? I want to hear from you all. Who else we got on? We got a few more people on. I need y'all to tell us where y'all chiming in from. We just want to rep you. Ebony is from Holly Springs. God bless you, darling. Tammy's from Martinsville. Who else we got, baby? I guess everybody's kind of a little bit slow tonight, huh?
Christopher is from Fuquay, Verena.
God bless you, Christopher. Y'all share and like and tell people to come on because it's going to be a great discussion. So anybody else want to rep your city? I got a question for you all as you're repping your city or your area that you're coming from. And it kind of goes back, first when we first started this a couple of weeks ago. And when a person says we need to talk or we need to have the talk, the last time I asked, how does that normally go? And most people said it doesn't go well. Others said it went well. Theirs went well. But when you say that, what generally are the topics that you discuss when you say we need to talk? So, Dr. Grace, when you want to have a conversation with me, what are some of the topics that you want to talk about? When is one of them, not just casual, but you really need my undivided attention to have a serious conversation? What are some of those topics?
Oh, I mean, anything pertaining to...
No, I'm talking about just between me and you. What are some of the topics that you want to, over the years, some of the things that you've wanted to talk about and you say we need to talk? What are some of those topics?
Our immediate family and vacation, spending time together.
Okay. Challenges, conflict, struggles, disappointments. Anybody else? What are some of the talks that you've had? I just want to get y'all to chime in. Tell us some of the talks that you've had to have with your spouse, or if you're dating or engaged. What are some of the talks? I forgot to tell the couples who we're counseling to join tonight because it's going to be a very important discussion. I think the talk is very important, and a lot of people just take it for granted until they can no longer talk. And all of a sudden they're having conversation problems. So what else we got? Anybody else? What are some of the conversations that you've had with your mate or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife on we need to talk? What are some of those topics that you all have had? Dr. Grace, you said vacation. What else did you say?
Family, spending time together.
You look like you're getting ready to move. Okay. I want to hear from some of you all. What else? What else you got, baby? Anybody else chimed in yet?
No.
Now, y'all ain't going to just let me and First Lady do all the work. I'm trying to get y'all engaged and involved. How to raise the kids. Wow, that one is a very deep one because we come from different backgrounds. Dr. Grace, we have different philosophies. One of the couples that I so admire is um, the Webbs and their teaching that they do on raising children. Because a lot of people, they have different philosophies, and both of you can be wrong.
Right.
Just because you was raised a certain way don't mean it's the perfect way or the best way or the right way. You know, some of us was raised, you get smacked upside the head. You know, knock your teeth in the back of your lip, in the back of your throat if you pouted. You know, that's a way to raise your children. It's not the best way. And in 2019, they may put you in jail for that. I brought you in as well. I'll take you out. But that's a great thing. Somebody said the finances. What else? What are some of the things that you all, when you say we need to talk? Finances is very important. It's one of the top reasons couples end in divorce. Children, especially with blended families, Dr. Grace, that could be a very touchy issue.
Yes, absolutely. And, in those cases, couples have to be very intentional about enlightening themselves, maybe, taking a class or signing up for a session so they can get information on how to navigate through the blended family situation because it can be very tough if you don't have mentors that can help keep you grounded and keep you moving forward with that.
So let's jump in. You all have saw my post on downloading our presentations. I think we got 3 out there that are available to you for free. Just click on it, download it. It's yours. Use it for whatever. If it'll help you, remind you of some of our conversations here that we've had here online, we certainly love for you to participate. Quality time, somebody said. Retirement, somebody else said. Amount of sex, that's a very big one. Very important. Now, most of these talks don't always go well. And they don't go well, Dr. Grace, because we have differences of opinion, which means that we have a conflict.
Absolutely.
And we don't resolve conflict very well during our talks because we violate a lot of the basic rules. But I don't want you to avoid it. Me and my wife, we've had challenges because, I want to deal with the issue. She want to walk away from the issue. She don't want to deal with conflict. I want to deal with it right then. And both of us may be wrong because I may be a little upset about it and she don't want to talk about it because she knows where it's going to go. That happens a lot in marriage. It happens quite a bit. But it's something that you have to work through if you're going to have a successful marriage. You can't keep living your life that way. You can't live your life just constantly at each other. And I'm not saying that every marriage is like that, but a majority of them are. And it's for this reason. We don't do conflict well. I know we talked about this before, but Dr. Grace, let's talk about, let's just do a quick review of conflict, what it should do, and what it actually ends up doing for most people. With your notes there, that about conflict.
So, conflict is the fire that forges two into one. Ephesians chapter 5 and 31 says, "For this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh."
Uh, um, and Genesis says the same thing, and they shall leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. But for two to become one, it means that there are two separate entities, two separate spaces, two separate ideas, two separate minds, two separate visions, two separate goals, two separate ideas. And we're trying to take two and make them one. That is not something that happens simply because you get married or you have sex or you produce children. That's not two becoming one. Two becoming one means that there's conflict with how same page with what you do. Still can So we and I, uh,
Resolve conflict.
let me say it out. This going. This usually works, but today it's not. Hold on. Testing 1 2. How about that? I think we're back on. I think I'm in business, and I'm gonna put the mic here. Um, what do you think they are saying? Can y'all hear us now? Y'all holler back at us. I think my microphone is working. Come on back up. Are we on, everybody? I'm curious to know myself, somebody said. We should be on now, First Lady.
Loud and clear.
Did somebody say loud and clear? Yeah, I had to get my mic. So I always got a backup. You got to learn something, Pastor Will. I'm a firm. I used to be a project manager when I was in corporate America. And project management teaches you Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Therefore, I will be prepared for whatever can go wrong. So I had my backup mic, and it was right there. I was able to plug it in. So welcome, everybody. We're back. Dr. Grace?
Yeah, so we were discussing about conflict resolution and how conflict can lead to three things: clearer direction, stronger emotion, and deeper commitment.
And if you missed the first part of that conversation, what I was trying to say, or what we were talking about, was that whether you've been married for 30 days or 30 years, like me and my wife, conflict is a constant. I was talking with a couple, Dr. Grace, without giving any names, but I was talking with a couple recently, and one of the spouses was just extremely frustrated, and they were ready to give up on the marriage. Actually, this happens quite a bit. And they're ready to give up on the marriage because they said it's constant fighting, constant arguing, constant frustrations. It's just always something. And I did a couple of things. First, I asked them what was the level of the conflict. If 10 is a level where you're just screaming and hollering, calling each other names, and just losing your mind, and 0 is no conflict at all, what is your level of conflict? And one said probably around a 3. Another one said no, it's more like 5 or 6. I said, but let me just tell you, to both of you, that's natural and that's normal. The Bible says it is impossible but that offenses will occur. You're two different people. Of course you have conflict, and you're gonna have it. And one of these people is just so frustrated they just want to live without conflict. And I said, well, the only way to do that is to go live by yourself. There's no situation that you can live with people, be around people, engage with people in which there's not going to be conflict. Because if there is, then the Bible is not true. The Bible says it is impossible, but that somebody's going to get offended. I don't care how long you've been married. I don't care how long you've been friends. I don't care how long you've been going to church, how long you've been at the job. Eventually, somebody is going to not agree with the other somebody. And if you are in a marriage or in a relationship or in a church or in a job and you don't have conflict, one of y'all dead. Okay, y'all ain't working with me. It's like, I forget that movie where the guy was dead the whole movie. One of y'all just, and so my wife is talking and I'm actually dead. Go ahead, talk, baby. Tell me what we're going to do next week. Come on, baby. Tell me what we're going to do next week.
We understand.
Come on, Grace. Why ain't you participating? Okay, I'm going to talk. Grace, you be dead then. All right, Grace, I need you to cook every day. I need you to clean every day. I need you to wash every day. I need to have sex every day. I need you to walking around looking sexy all the time. And I don't want no mouth. I don't want nothing back. That ain't going to happen. As much as you would like for it to happen, it won't happen because both of you all are two individuals. And the only way that's going to happen is somebody got to be dead. No, it's like this. Come on, baby, give me my eulogy. He was a good man. Come on, Dr. Grace, give me a eulogy. She just got me in the house laying in the casket.
Yeah, this would be the first. I've never done one.
I'm sitting in the house just sitting there like this. And Grace telling all her friends, girl, he's a good man. He don't give me no mouth. Girl, he just everything, whatever I need. If I say anything, he never say nothing back. You know why? Because I'm dead. And if First Lady ever come to church and tell y'all that she just had the perfect week, Pastor Will didn't give her no issues, no challenges, no problems, and I'm not at church, I'm dead. I need y'all to hear me. I'm dead. I don't care what she say. If she say that I didn't cause her no drama all week, y'all better come check the house and bring some cadaver dogs because I'm dead. I promise you I'm dead. Y'all ain't working with a brother today. Conflict, Dr. Grace, you cannot live without conflict. There's no scenario. Not at church, not at work, not on your job, not with your boyfriend, girlfriend, not your man. If y'all not having conflict, somebody's lying. Somebody's not being truthful. Somebody's not being honest. And we're going to talk about that. Somebody is giving in and dying a little, baby.
Yes.
Somebody is just getting more and more frustrated, but it ain't real. That's just not real for there not to be conflict. So the problem is never conflict. The problem is learning to resolve conflict. Look like my screen is freezing. Hopefully you all are still getting us. I don't know, these connections just go bad from time to time, but hopefully you all are still getting us. So Dr. Grace, somebody said, is anyone experiencing pausing? Yeah, it's always something. The devil, I be trying to get this information to folks, and devil, you are just a mess. Yeah, I'm seeing it on my screen pausing as well, and it looks like our connection. Let me double check and make sure I got a good connection. Well, I got the connection, but it's just pausing. Could be that there's a lot of people on going on. Hopefully it'll come back around. We'll just keep talking and you all will start getting a good connection. But looks like I'm talking now as Dr. Grace. So let's keep going. We'll just motor on through it. And if I see the pausing, I'll just I'll kind of talk real slow, real, and I'm still pausing. So sorry about that, you all. We're gonna work on that. I'm spending a lot of money for these fast connections, and it seemed like it don't even matter, Dr. Grace. But and it is Spectrum. Praise God. The devil name is Spectrum, and we paying for like 300, whatever they call them things, and it's still pausing. But Dr. Grace, so we talked about why marital conflict is so hard. And boy, I hate this. That this connection ain't no better than this, but it's still pausing. What do you do when one party is unwilling to communicate or be honest? What a great question. Hopefully, I will be able to answer that. I'm going to see if this connection is going to get any better here. But Dr. Grace, this is a great question. So I'm going to take a pause and we're going to try to answer that question. Let me hit refresh and see if this gets any better. But it's a great question. Hey y'all, if y'all are, can y'all hear us okay? Looks like we're still don't have a great connection. But if you can hear us, somebody shoot something back at us. So the question says, what do you do when one party is unwilling to communicate or be honest? So, let's talk about that, Doctor. It looks like I stopped pausing. It looks pretty good now. So, Dr. Grace, this is something that we run into. So we got couples that come in and see us, and the first thing is there's always one party that don't want no conflict. So I have to convince them that conflict is natural and normal. Your problem is not conflict. The problem is that you don't know how to resolve your conflict. So we take them through the process. But when this question here says, what do you do? It's more than 30 seconds. I don't know what that means. What do you do when, read that question, baby?
When one party is unwilling or to communicate or be honest.
So now the honesty is different than unwilling to communicate. If a person ain't honest, then that means that they're lying, Dr. Grace. And until a person is willing to be truthful, you really can't help them. But as it relates to unwilling to communicate, there's a reason why people are unwilling to communicate. And baby, what do you think that is?
For different reasons. I mean, it depends on what it is that they're faced with. Some people are faced with not wanting to deal with rejection. They don't want to be misunderstood. They don't feel like there's trust. They don't feel like there's total honesty. So it depends on what it is that they have a conflict with. And I think the goal for the other spouse is to create a safe place for that person to be able to communicate, because something about the conversation, whether it's that person's demeanor, maybe they're just mean and maybe they call them names, or it's just difficult for the other person to feel that this is a safe place.
So and now here's the deal, Dr. Grace. We know that we're capable of communicating because we got together, we got married. So now we're in a bad space, but we weren't always in the bad space. So now how do we get from that bad space to a good space? How do we get from that untrustworthy space to a trustworthy space? How do we get back to that place where we can trust each other and communicate with each other? And this is what our 10 Commandments of Conflict Resolution is all about. This is what it's all about. It is learning how to properly resolve conflict. And Dr. Grace, we didn't really deal with that a lot, but we're going to take a few minutes tonight if the internet would stop freezing, and it looks like it's back to freezing again. Boy, the devil really does not want us to get this information out tonight. I mean, there's no reason for us. I'm spending all this money on the internet, and there's no reason for us to be experiencing this. So I think I'm gonna try a landline the next time and see if that helps out. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to bring the internet. I think the last time I brought the internet box down here. So remind me to do that next week, baby. To actually bring the physical internet box, because it's upstairs in our bedroom. And I think if I bring the internet box down here, we will have a better consistency of the internet. So I apologize to you all. Let me hold up my phone and see if I can get some better service. But we will try to soldier on, and if push comes to shove, we'll come back next week and talk about this again when we have better service. But Dr. Grace, I was saying that we find ourselves in bad space, bad place. So we got to get back to that good space and that good place. And one of the things to do is to remember how it used to be. And the Bible says, repent, remember from which thou hast fallen, and repent. So that means to, you're right, Nate. I do need a repeater. I'm going to get me something by next week. I promise you all I will do that. But all of that being said, one of the things that is vital and vitally important, Dr. Grace, is that we try to get to that space. And that's where the 10 Commandments of conflict resolution is. Without any rules to trying to resolve your conflict, it's not going to end well. Number one, without rules, you don't have the actual solutions. That is, you don't have the right skill set. Number two, you're not going to be very objective. And number three, you're going to use the wrong approach. So, Dr. Grace, we don't have skills. And there's three things about skills, and they are...
So the first one would be the wrong timing. The wrong emotion is the second one, and the wrong methods.
And we lack personal objectivity. What does the Bible say about that?
Jeremiah 17:9 says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
And then finally, we choose the wrong approach. And what's the wrong approach, baby?
The win at all cost approach, the withdraw and smolder approach, and the give in and die a little approach.
And so people get to a place where they just stop because somebody's always trying to beat the other person up to win, or somebody's just withdrawing and withdrawing and withdrawing, and they're just smoldering, and they're trying not to go off. They're trying not to hurt somebody. They're trying not to blow up and explode, and then finally the other person's just sick and tired and just giving in and just dying a little bit. So the Bible tells us that there's a better approach in 1 Peter.
1 Peter 3:10-11, it says, for the scriptures say, if you want to enjoy life and see many happy days, keep your tongue from speaking evil and your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Search for peace and work to maintain it.
So two things that passage is teaching you. Control your tongue and learn the skills of peacemaking. Walking away is not peacemaking. Talking about it right now is not peacemaking, especially when everybody's hot. So, Dr. Grace, we came up with these 10 commandments. They are rules to resolving conflict. Habits of highly effective couples in resolving conflict. If you want to get good at this, and you can, there are 10 rules that we need you to follow. They are in the presentation that I just gave you. Let me post it again so that you all, those of you that are coming on later, can have it. Let me see if I got it here, baby. Yep. So I just posted those rules there in the 10 Commandments of Conflict Resolution. But number one, baby?
Thou shalt focus on one issue, not many issues.
This is always... And it's number one, Dr. Grace, because this is the most difficult. Because in general, if I bring up something with you, you're either going to become defensive or else, here's my slow internet again. So I'm apologizing to you all in advance. Looks like it's getting ready to slow down again. But, or you're going to bring up a problem of mine. So
Absolutely.
no matter what it is, it ends up being a conversation about multiple things. And it's not intentional, but it's the way we talk, it's the way we communicate. If I bring up a problem with you, you're going to start thinking about why that problem exists, which then leads you to talk about something else. And then I'm going to say why that problem exists, which is going to lead me to bring up something else. And so before you know it, we've not even talking about the original reason
Right.
for we need to talk.
Yes.
Now we're talking about something completely different.
Right.
So somebody, for example, brought up finances.
Yes.
So we start talking about, baby, we got to do something about these finances. And so I bring up the fact that every time I turn around, Grace, you're spending money on clothes. So you end up saying what about that? I'm just making it up. Just go with the flow.
Um, well, I mean, I'm not the only person that spends a lot of money. I mean, you spend a lot of money on food.
Well, I have to spend money on food, Dr. Grace, because you don't cook very much. And so I got to go out and eat all the time. Just make it up.
Um, well, I mean, going out to eat is good, but then you have to worry about, um, you know, purchasing other things. I mean, on the way to going out to eat, you probably stop at Starbucks and get something.
Yeah, but if you would cook more, well, if you see that, and this is just us making this up on the fly, but the
Right.
truth of the matter is, what have we talked about? We started talking about finance.
Yeah.
Then we went into Grace spending money on clothes. Then we went into having to go out to eat because she's not cooking. And then she started about me going to Starbucks. Now, that wasn't the conversation. What we need to talk about is our finances.
Right.
And so, what happens with many couples is they end up just going down this dark hole of issue after issue, past problems, past struggles, and your children is your kids that I gotta always spend this money on these bad kids. I mean, it's just over, on and on and on. And so, one of the most important things is you have to stay on one issue at a time. Number two, Dr. Grace.
Number two, thou shalt watch your anger level.
So many times, baby, when we're having a talk, either I'll get upset or you get upset. I just want you to share with us about what happens when that happens, when we start getting upset.
Yeah, and again, when you get upset, then when with that emotion comes negative a negative environment. So, the other person doesn't have anything pleasant to say if they feel defensive. So,
Which is the reason why some people just shut down. Because the anger creates a negative environment. The anger also creates what we call emotional alcohol,
yes,
or a person is emotionally drunk. So now you're saying and doing things that are out of control because you're at your anger. When we're angry, we call each other names. When we're angry, we do stupid stuff. When we're angry, it's just like driving when you're under the influence, except for you're married under the influence. You're trying to resolve a conflict under the influence, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because anger is an emotional alcohol that makes you emotionally drunk. Proverbs 15 and 18 says,
a hot-tempered person starts fights. A cool-tempered person stops them.
so here is the way. So going back to that original question that you all asked, what if a person won't communicate or don't want to communicate or is not being honest in the communications? So I just told you why that's happening. It's because we don't know how to resolve our conflict. We don't know how to fight fair. We don't know how to fight right. We get angry. We get mad. We're talking about 20 things instead of one. And so nothing ever gets resolved. It is the third commandment that's going to be your friend. Everybody listen to me right now. The third commandment will help you with it's going to help you with anger. It will help you with not having too many issues on the table. It will help you with this struggle that we run into where people just feel like I'm just gonna shut down because you're gonna call me out my name. Somebody don't get upset. You're gonna start throwing stuff. You're gonna call somebody a B or you ain't nothing. All these types of things are gonna happen because of our anger level. We're gonna talk about 20 different things. Nothing's gonna get resolved. So commandment number 3, Dr. Grace.
Thou shalt practice give and take communication.
Now, at our presentation last week, Dr. Grace, with the couples at the church, we called that step 1 conversation. You can call it give and what does that say? Give and take communications. Another one is speaker listener communications. But for the sake of, and I think we're going to adopt that, Dr. Grace, step 1, step 2, and step 3 conversations. So here's a step 1 conversation. Step 1 conversation, nobody's going to get angry because if you do it right, there's no room for anger. If you do it right, in other words, you've taken all the alcohol out the room, there's no alcohol in the house, and so can't nobody get drunk. Y'all need to hear me on this. You've taken, when you do it this, what I'm about to tell you right now, nobody's going to get angry. And so, Dr. Grace, now you talked about feeling safe, not being in a negative environment, so on and so forth. So, Dr. Grace, me and you need to talk. But instead of saying we need to talk, you come to me and you say, baby, can we have a step 1 conversation? So say that to me.
Baby, can we have a step 1 conversation?
Sure. Now, she just gave the rules for the talk. Can we have a stage 1 conversation, a give and take communications, or speaker listener conversation? It's called stage 1. Is it stage 1 or step 1?
Step 1.
Step 1 conversation. In step 1 conversation, there's only one talker and the other one is a listener. The listener can only do one thing, and that one thing is repeat what the talker says, and to make sure that we both got it. So, Dr. Grace, so I just repeated to you yes. So now me saying yes then says that it's the right time, because that's a problem in communications. I'm not angry, because if I was angry, then I would say this is not a good time. So I just said yes. So Dr. Grace is going to have a level 1, a stage 1, a step 1 conversation with me. Baby, just pick any topic and go for it.
Well, babes, what are we gonna where are we gonna go for our next vacation?
Okay, so now I'm gonna stop right there because she asked me a question and I need to answer that question. So that's a different conversation. This conversation only deals with conflict. So I'm gonna have her reiterate that question, because here's the conflict. Dr. Grace wants to go to Florida to be with her family. I want to go to Michigan to be with my family. So it's not where we're going to go, but she's already asked me that question, and we got into this disagreement. We had a conflict. She wants to go to Florida to be with her family. I want to go to Michigan to be with my family. So there is the conflict. And so, baby, I want you to present that conflict to me in the form of a stage 1 conversation, and I want you to do it from the perspective of every time I turn around, we always go into your family, and I don't think that's fair. So that's the conflict. So with that in mind, I want you to give me a stage 1 communication.
So we need to make a decision on where we're going to go, because more than likely you will want to go to Michigan, and more than likely I want to go to Florida. So we need to make a decision.
Okay, I'll make the decision. We're going to Michigan.
Well, the last time we went to Michigan, so we need to talk about it, because we can't always go to Michigan every time you want to go to Michigan.
Okay, I'll make the decision. We're going to Michigan. Okay, I'll make the decision. We're going to Michigan.
Well, the last time we went to Michigan, so we need to talk about it, because we can't always go to Michigan every time you want to go to Michigan.
Well, I'm the one that's planning it. I'm the one. See, now again, we're getting off because we're not having the proper conversation. And so now I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to be Grace so that you all can see how the conversation really needs to go. So I'm Grace, she's Will. So Grace is frustrated because we're always going to Michigan, but she wants to go to Florida. And so I'm being Grace, and so the conversation is more like this. Dr. Grace, I don't want a answer. I just want to present to you my concern. And my concern is we always go to Michigan to visit your family, and we never go to Florida to visit my family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, what are you gonna do, baby? What should you say back to me?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it some more. I mean,
Okay, so that ain't right. Grace is just a listener. So her job is to make sure. So Grace is Will and Will is Grace. I'm confusing y'all. Her job is to make sure that I feel that she hears me. So I'm gonna try it one more time. Grace.
So what you're saying is
okay, exactly. So let me start all over. Grace, I'm sick and tired. Every time I turn around, we're always going to Michigan to visit your family. I want to go to Florida to visit my family this year.
Well, let me make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying that you want to go to Florida to visit your family.
Yes.
Because you're tired of going to Michigan to be with my family.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll think about it.
Okay. So now that in essence is a step one conversation. There's no more to it. Now maybe there's actually and as a matter of fact, when we counsel, we tell couples to go away, write down 5 issues that they have. 5 conflicts, 5 problems that they have with their mate. And I just picked a number 5. It could be any number. It can be 3. It could be 5. It could maybe just be the one. But I want you to write them down. So now I'm going to start this conversation again with my wife. I got 3 issues. The first issue that I have with my wife is where we go on vacation all the time. The second issue I have with my wife is that she spends too much money. And the third issue that I have with my wife is she's up all night watching television and I can't sleep. All right. All y'all got it? Those are my issues. I wrote them down. So now I'm going to my wife and I say, baby, I want to have a step one conversation. So y'all can call it step one. We're gonna try to figure out calling this step one. Put it in my notes eventually. A step one conversation. I just want to tell you what's bothering me, and I just want you to listen and let me know that you hear me. So my first issue, Dr. Grace, or baby, is that it seems like we're always going to Michigan. We never go to Florida to be with my family, and I want to go to Florida this year.
So let me make sure I understand. The first issue that you want to talk about is going on vacation, and that you don't want to go to Michigan. You want to go to Florida.
Yep, that's exactly the issue.
Okay.
Now, this is important, y'all. If Dr. Grace start going in about, well, you don't understand, now we're going to have problems. If Dr. Grace start going in with me about, well, the reason why we went to Michigan is because my father was sick. And the reason why we went to Michigan because I had to go to something else. And I had to go preach. And the reason why we went to Michigan. No, she can't do that because she's trying to fix the problem. I don't want step one is never fixed. Step one is just communicate. A step one conversation is just for me to tell my spouse what the problem is and for her to repeat it back to me so that we have an agreement. I'm going to tell you my second one, but don't tell it to me right so we can go through it multiple times. What did I say the second problem was? Spending too much money? Yeah, spending too much money. Okay, so we got the first one down. And here's a good idea. The person that's want to initiate it, write them down. I didn't write mine down, so that you don't forget. And the person who's listening, you write them down, because I'm gonna have you do an assignment afterwards. So number one, so we're good. Not that we resolved it, but I know that my wife heard me that we always go to Michigan and I want to go to Florida this year. So she heard that because I heard her say it. She's written it down. My second issue, baby, is that our finances are out of control. I feel like you're spending too much money that's unaccountable.
So you're saying the second issue is that our finances are out of control.
Get it wrong.
So you're saying that you don't have a problem with our finances.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I do have a problem with the finances, and that they're out of control because you're spending too much money. Get it kind of right.
So you're saying that I spend too much money, or you spend too much money?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is our finances are out of control because you're spending too much money.
Okay. Do I get it right this time?
I don't know. Go ahead and try it.
So you're saying that our finances are out of control because I'm spending too much money.
Yes. Now, Dr. Grace don't have to agree with it.
Right.
She may actually think I'm the one spending all the money. She may actually think, well, I'm in charge of the bills, so I have to spend the money to pay the bills. She may think you just don't know what's going on with the finances. None of that matters, because if she starts saying those things, it's going to get heated. We're going to become angry. We're going to get into this long, drawn out stuff. You know why she's doing that? Because she's trying to fix the problem. I don't want her to fix it. I just want to know that she hears what I'm saying. And when I'm saying it, I want her to repeat it back to me, and then I want her to write it down, because I'm going to give her more than one issue. And then my third issue, so she got the second one right. Now here's my third issue. Grace, I don't like the fact that you stay up too late. You're always watching television, and I can't get any sleep.
So the third issue is you think that I stay up too late, so you can't get any sleep because I'm watching television.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, I know this may seem a little redundant, but it's important because it's not going to go well the first time. Your mate is probably going to try to get defensive, and they're going to start, and they may repeat it the wrong way. So what we want to do is we want to keep going back and forth until we are both in agreement. You're not in agreement, First Lady, that it's a problem. You're in agreement that you hear what I say is a problem.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now that's all you want to do. So here's what I can guarantee you. If you just do a step one conversation, a speaker-listener conversation, I'm going to call it a speaker-listener. Step one, speaker-listener. Nobody's going to get angry, baby. Why would you not get angry?
Because you're just merely repeating what was said.
Exactly. We're not trying to blame anybody. We're not being at fault. Your only job is to make sure that I feel like you hear me. Because when you walk away, I don't think you hear me. When you get upset, I don't think you hear me. So now, that's a step one. Now, Dr. Grace, once you do that, I want you guys to actually stop. I don't want you to try to fix it at that point. I want there to be a time period where both of you can go and marinate what you've heard. To think about how you would respond back to me or me back to you, where you're not getting angry, where you don't get angry. But all of that being said, that's all we want to do in step one. Now, Dr. Grace, you can do a step one. Because maybe you got 3 issues. So how about now, so the next time we talk can either be a step 2, where we begin the process of trying to resolve it. Uh, and I'm going to tell you what that's about in just a minute. Or we could do another step one where it's reversed. So, Dr. Grace, I'm getting ready to reverse the step one, and you're going to tell me two issues that you have with me.
Um, well,
I'm so perfect. She don't have any issues with me, y'all. I'm just such a good guy. My wife have no problems with me. All right, baby, go ahead.
so, well, babes, we need to talk. Um, one issue that I need to talk with you about is, helping with the laundry. Doing some of the laundry. It's a lot that we have to do, a lot we have to keep up with. And both of us are busy, and both of us don't have a lot of time.
So what I hear you saying is, um, you want me to help you with the laundry because you just don't have the time to do it.
Nope, that's not what I said.
All right.
I said that I'd love for you to help me with the laundry because we are busy. We don't have a lot of time. So this would be helpful.
You want me to help with the laundry because we're busy, we don't have a lot of time, and this would be helpful.
Yes.
Okay. Intentional. I need y'all to hear me. She had to make sure that I repeat it back to her so she knows that she's being heard. Number one. What's your second issue?
Second issue is because we're so busy, babes. The second thing is, helping out with the cooking. Either going grocery shopping, and then I'll do the cooking, or both of us going grocery shopping and both of us doing the cooking.
So what I hear you saying now is you want me to help with the cooking and the grocery shopping.
Yep.
Either one do the grocery shopping, the other do the cooking, or we both do grocery shopping and both do cooking.
Right.
Okay. Now, again, that's it. So I had a level one with her. I gave 3 issues. She had a level one with me. And she gave me 2 issues. My 3 issues, I can't remember them, but they were what, baby?
Staying up late.
Staying up late.
Buying stuff.
Okay. Buying stuff. Spend too much money.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot the very first one. That was supposed to be my most important one.
Right.
I can't remember. So all of that being said, so I got 3 issues. She got 2 issues. That's level 1, step 1 conversation. I'm going to call it level 1. I like that better than stage 1. Level 1 conversation is a speaker-listener. One person speaks. The other person listens and repeats back. Speak, parrot back. That's it. That's all. And then you stop and you reschedule to come back for a level 2. Dr. Grace, and these are not in our notes, so I need y'all to make sure y'all getting this. A level 2 conversation, Dr. Grace, is where we come together and we prioritize the issues. Mm-hmm. So now that we've gotten them down, we're going to think about them and we're going to come back and we're going to say, what is the priority? So now we're coming back. This is probably a whole nother day or another half a day. So Dr. Grace, out of my 3 issues and your 2 issues, so we got a total of 5 issues. What do you think is the most important for you?
Well, for me, it would be the the food.
Okay. And for me, it would be the finances. And so now me and Dr. Grace, and we can rotate it or we can just decide out of those 5 issues, which one is the most important. So Dr. Grace, you gave 2, I gave 3. What would make our life the easiest? What do you think if we just got this first issue resolved? What do you think? I think the finances should be the first thing we should talk about.
Yeah, on your list.
Right. So now we got to make a decision. Out of the 2 lists, which one should we talk about first? So I like to talk about finance first. What would you like to talk about first?
We can toss a coin.
Okay, I ain't got a problem with that. Girls, ladies say toss a coin. So we toss a coin, we're going to talk about finances. So now that we've organized our list, so First Lady, no. Now here's the deal. The reason why we did that, y'all, I need y'all to get me, is because there's 5 issues on the table. First Lady don't got to get frustrated that we're not talking about her issue because she knows that eventually we will. I don't got to get frustrated going back and forth. I want to talk about finance. She want to talk about grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So now we begin the process of going through that. So it took us a while, But we finally got down to one issue. That one issue is finances.
Yes.
So, rule number one issue.
Yes.
What's rule number 2?
Thou shalt watch your anger level.
So as we begin to talk, we're going to start getting angry. And what do we have to do once we start getting angry, Grace?
Watch your level.
What do we do once we get angry?
Just call a timeout and come back again.
Don't storm out. Don't walk away. Just call a timeout and say, let's talk about this later. That's number 2. Number 3, we already done number 3. What's number 4?
Let's see here. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt seek a resolution both of you can live with.
So, in our conversations, I am not trying to dominate my wife. She's not trying to dominate me. I'm not trying to win. She's not trying to win. We're trying to find a solution that both of us can live with. It's got to be what we call a win-win situation. Both of us have to feel good about the solution. Dr. Grace?
Yep. And so the next one is thou shalt always keep your eye on the prize. Strong marriage, one flesh.
All right. And the next one?
Thou shalt not let unresolved conflict poison your marriage.
And then finally?
Thou shalt seek outside help together.
This is where me and Dr. Grace comes in. So I need y'all to hear me on this as we go through these once more time. Look, number one issue. We just told you how to do that. Have what we call a level 1 speaker-listener conversation. Don't try to fix it. Just talk about it and let's agree what the problem is. Number 2, when you do get to that, don't be angry. And when you get angry, stop, call timeout, reschedule it. Number 3, practice give and take. That's what we just said. Number 4,
seek a resolution both of you can live with.
Right.
Thou shalt always keep your eye on the prize, strong marriage and one flesh. And thou shalt not let unresolved conflict poison your marriage.
So we need y'all to get to a point where you stop walking away, where you stop blowing up. So let me say this again. One of you all walks away. The other one of you all blows up. Neither one of those are going to work. We just given you a set of rules. Now there's 10. We didn't give you all 10 of them, but they're in the presentation that I just gave you all. It is imperative and important that you all get this. It is imperative and important that you all understand it and that you follow it. So we're not going to belittle each other. We're not going to batter each other. We're not going to badger each other. Because if we do that, Dr. Grace, somebody's going to shut down.
Absolutely.
Somebody's going to get sick and tired of having the arguments and the fights. Somebody's going to say, well, let's just take some time away from each other because every time we talk, it's just another argument. So we've got to get to a point where we step back from that. And that is not in trying to change the person or fix the person. That is trying to change and fix the process.
Right.
It's the process that we're working on. Dr. Grace, I'm not trying to change who you are. I'm trying to change the process that you use. Grace is not trying to change who I am. She's trying to change the process that I use in our conflict. If we're going to have the talk, let's have the talk where we, Dr. Grace, are using a different process. So we want to focus on the problem, not on each other. And if I'm saying stuff that's going to make Dr. Grace angry, it ain't going to be about the problem, it's going to be on me. If she's saying stuff and walking out the room and making me upset, it ain't going to be about the problem anymore. It's going to be about what she just did to make me upset. We've got to change the process. We call it the 10 Commandments of Conflict Resolution. God wanted us to follow rules when he gave us the commandments. He knew who we were. He wasn't trying to change us. If he wanted to change us, he would have just said, poof, you're different. But instead what he did was he gave us a set of rules to live by. I want to give you all a set of rules to handle your conflict. It will take a lot of the anger out. You will still get angry, in which case you got to shut down, call time out, and reschedule. Can we commit to that? I need y'all to to begin to do this. I'm going to give y'all some more notes. Next week, I'm going to expand on this. Me and Dr. Grace are going to have more notes for you all on how to really do this speaker listener level 1 conversation, and then how you then take that to level 2, where you decide on which of the issues we're going to talk about first, and then we go to level 3, where we begin the process of actually coming up with a solution. It will work. I promise you. To those of you that have shut down and don't want to talk about it, it will work. You just got to get a better process. To those of you that just get angry and mad, it will work. You just got to follow the process. Dr. Grace, what would you say about some of this stuff that we're talking about here today?
Absolutely. And so you've got the information via the link that was put out on our chat. Go back through and read through it. We do have on our website, My Marriage University, we do have videos that you can look at as well that will give you some more information. Again, the important thing when you're talking with your spouse, no matter how challenging it might be or heated it might get, is to understand that you all are teaming up against the problem. It's, when you're teaming up against each other, then it becomes a greater conflict. But when you are in fact looking at the problem and attacking it that way, then now it becomes you and your spouse against the problem.
So Grace, I'm gonna have you. We just froze again. Y'all give me a second. Hopefully, let me hold up my phone. Dr. Grace, you had some great words and it was frozen. So I'm going to ask you to let me hit refresh and see if it comes back up better. Hold on, y'all. We're getting it together. Dr. Grace, say that you said again, if you can remember.
So, what I was saying is we do have that information that we posted the link. You can go to our website as well to get information. But when you are having a conversation with your spouse and you realize that it's challenging and you're getting heated, you have to understand that it's not you against your spouse. It's you and your spouse against the problem. And, when you look at it that way, and just know that, again, what God is calling you to in your marriage is to have a loving relationship. He knew you were going to have conflicts. He knew that there were going to be challenges. But if you let the platform be, okay, we don't hate each other. We love each other. And we're always going to love each other. We have this problem that needs to be addressed, so let us team up against the problem. Then you're both going to find yourself coming up with ways that you can have a solution. And it takes the fire out of it, because now both of you all are trying to seek a resolution. And when you're on the same team and you're working together, it makes you come out victoriously, because both of you all want the same end.
I'm going to give you all an assignment. Give me and my wife an assignment to everybody. I want everybody to do this assignment, and we're going to come back and discuss it on next week. I think we can have a discussion next week. I know we got a lot going on, but we're going to try to be back next week, hopefully with a repeater, so I don't have this problem again. But so here's the homework. I need everybody to get a sheet of paper away from your spouse and write down your top problems that you have with the marriage. And maybe you don't have any problems, then, but your mate does. I tell people, if you don't have you don't have any problems, then you are the problem. Okay, y'all don't work with me. So here's the assignment. Dr. Grace, me and you going to do this. So I want you all to take a sheet of paper. We're going to do it too, and we're going to come back and have a discussion. And write down your top 2, 3, up to 5 issues that you're having. Conflict, challenges, problems that you're having. Just write them down. And then if you can engage your spouse, tell them you want to have a level 1 speaker-listener conversation. And the first step I want you to do is just write down any concerns that you have, any problems, any issues. Just write them down. Don't talk to your mate about them. Just write them down. Just write them down. Totally independent. So what me and my wife is going to do is she going to get a sheet of paper or a little, what do you call it? A little book.
Posted.
No, a little book.
Oh, notebook.
A notebook. What do they call it? A journal. And write it down. So write down your 3 to 5 issues that you have. And then schedule a time where the two of you will get together and do a level 1 conversation in which just one person speaks, the other person listens and repeats back. One person. Don't go back and forth. One person speaks, the other person listens and repeats back, and then you write your mate's problem on your book. This is, so I got mine, but today we're going to let Grace speak to hers. So she's going to speak to me, and I'm going to make sure I hear hers. Now, maybe we can do both of those at the same time because all we're doing is speaking and listening. So we both are going to take some time and write out our issues. Then we're going to get together and have a speaker-listener level 1 conversation. The level 1, Dr. Grace, is me and you're going to sit down. I'm going to tell you what my 3 to 5 issues are. You're going to repeat them and write them down so I know that you got them. And then you're going to tell me what your 3 to 5 issues are. And I'm going to repeat it and make sure that I got them. I'm going to write them down. So then, if you had 3 and I had 3, we both walk away with 6. You walk away with 6. I walk away with 6. Level 2 conversation is we look at those 6 issues and we prioritize them. Don't matter who they belong to, let's prioritize them 1 through 6. So that's level 2. So I want you all to try this, and then we're going to come back and see how did it work for you all. So let's just get through level 1 and level 2, where we both list our issues, repeat them back to each other, and prioritize them. So with the level 2s, we come back, you tell me how you prioritize them, I'm going to tell you how I prioritize them. And it can be, and we can mix them up. So it can't just be, well, only issues that's important is my issues. I got to think that some of my wife's issues are important too, and vice versa. And here's the key to help you prioritize them. If this issue is resolved, our life will be so much better. If we get this one resolved right here, everything is going to be all right. So that's how I want you to prioritize them. So that's level 2. So I want y'all to do level 1 and level 2 conversations for next week. And there's no reason for anybody to get angry, baby.
Nope. Because you're just repeating what the other.
We're just repeating. You're just being the parent. Charlie wants a cracker. It's just a parent. Y'all ain't working with me. So we're just repeating what our mate said. What that gives our mate is the sense of being heard. No anger, no bitterness, no fighting, no discussing 20 issues. I just got heard. There's no reason for any fighting because all we're doing is listening and letting our mate know that we were heard. So we're going to come back next week, and then we're going to start talking about level 3. So level 1. We both come, and so we're going to do it together. Baby, you're going to take a day and write your issues down. I'm going to take a day and write my issues down. We're going to come together, set a time. I'm telling y'all how we're going to do it because I want y'all to do it the same way. Set a time where she bring hers to the table, I bring mine to the table. And so I have 3, she have 3. We both walk away with 6. We spend the day prioritizing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then... And don't holler back at your wife if she says something and it makes you angry. Just I'm just repeating it. I'm not discussing it. Well, I just can't believe you. No, none of that. Just write it down. Write it down. And then think about it and then prioritize it. Come back and have one more discussion on what's your priority. And so that's what we're going to do. And that's what I want you all to do for next week. So hopefully y'all have been blessed by today's discussion. We'll be back next week. I think Dr. Grace, I'm going to have this internet problem fixed by next week as well. I'm going to have a repeater because we're going to be starting our prayer real soon. And I'm going to be doing our Miracle Month of Prayer next month as well. And we'll be doing some internet stuff with that. So y'all got your homework. Listen, go out to our website, mymarriageuniversity.com. You will absolutely be blessed by it. Download our notes from tonight. They're in the link that I just posted again. Get that. God bless you, David, and everybody else that have joined. And we're going to have a great conversation on next week because I want to see that you all are putting in the work. We're going to learn how to do this. So I want you to put in the work, and we're going to get this information out. So hopefully you all got most of the information. I want you to go to mymarriageuniversity.com. Give us a donation. Bless the ministry. Me and Dr. Grace got so much work to do, so little time, and so little money. So if you all will make a donation tonight from what you've heard, if you've been blessed by the word, click that donate button. We usually ask people to sow a $21 seed. So anything you want, more or less. Buy some of our products. The teaching tonight is from our book, No More Drama, not No More Drama, The Relationship Battle Plan. Go out and get that set, the relationship battle plan. It has the 10 commandments in there, a lot of good information that will absolutely positively bless you. So go out to mymarriageuniversity.com, click on the donate button, click on the store button, get the products. Those of you that are getting ready for the retreat, we got a couple more weeks. Dr. Grace and I are getting packed up and ready to go. So we're looking forward to having a great time. We're going to take plenty of pictures and have those for you all when we get back. God bless you. We'll see you on next week. Let's close with prayer, baby. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you and we praise you, Lord, for what has been shared here today, for the people that have come in, for people that will see this later but be blessed by it. Lord, we ask you, Lord, to restore every home, restore every marriage, restore every family. Satan, you are defeated. God is exalted and Jesus is Lord. You cannot have our marriages. God ordained our marriages. God says marriage is honorable in all and the bed is undefiled. So we thank God right now that we're learning tools to be strengthened in our marriage, and we will be blessed in our marriages. In Jesus' name, thank God. Amen. Go to My Marriage University. God bless you all. We thank God for you.